Hi, everybody. Welcome to Habitat Now. I'm your host, Aaron Shea, and I'm honored to have our guest of the hour, Latchezar Boyadjiev, joining us from California. Latchezar is introducing his new Habatat Limited series piece first and premiering live online with you guys today. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for taking time out of your day. I know it's getting nicer out, and I know people want to get outside and have a good time. So I will continue doing these, but I invite you to come and join me. If you can't join me because of what you're doing, I completely understand, but you can watch them later on YouTube, and we'll be sending out newsletters. So these will continue because I think they're a great archive of information, and it's great to see all your faces. So I want to welcome Latchezar. Say hello to Latchezar, everybody.
Hello.
Hi, Latchezar.
Good to see you all. Thank you for having me, Aaron.
Great to have you too. So
Yeah.
Latchezar, before we get into showing the little tiny slideshow I have of what the piece looks like, I would love for you to talk about your thought process behind this piece and how it came to be, and just you've done a limited before and maybe this came from that. What are your thoughts?
Well, what happened with that piece particularly was I haven't done much work since the pandemic started. I was more in the studio and thinking further, what do I do, how do I do it, and doing some drawings, not too many, but one of the drawings actually, it's right behind me, you can see it there. And I really like this drawing, and I said, I have to do it. And first I was thinking to go really big, like 6 feet tall, which would look great. But then I thought, I'm here in my studio. I can do something with it that it's a little bit smaller. First, I started actually modeling it to be about 3 feet tall and more three-dimensional. There's no one flat surface on it, only on the bottom where it stands. And started doing that. And then I really thought, why don't I start with the little one just to try it out? Because I really like this design. It is called Journey, and the piece is actually, I like the small size. It's so good, and it's so easy to handle. That was one of my things, because I don't have any helpers at the studio right now because of the pandemic. It all stopped, and I want to do pieces that I'm able to handle easily, to grind, polish, and work the details. But found out that actually smaller pieces are sometimes a lot more difficult to make than the big pieces. Because you have to go into detail and very small pieces. You have to get the glass ground, and it's a lot more delicate work than the big pieces are. So it took me a while, and it's all done and good now, and I'm happy with the result. So it was great that we could share that first edition that I wanted to do. And thank you, Aaron, for opening it up to the world to see.
No problem. It's great to hear that these works are more hands-on than usual, that you have you actually have these pieces and exploring the spaces and able to create with this blue glass. So without further ado, I will give you guys a first glimpse of this new limited that Latchezar is sharing with us. And Latchezar has a plan, and 10 of these will be released through the gallery, and the website is up now on habatatlimited.com to see them and buy them. But I wanted to show you what the piece looks like and how it came together. And it's a stunning, I own a piece of Latchezar's work. Many of you may or may not, but it's just a moving piece coming from his original drawings. He has plenty of presentations out there showing his process. So let's jump into it. And Latchezar, you're welcome to join me to talk about the actual pieces. So what we're looking at is not this, but was this. Can you tell us a little bit about what the mold's made out of?
Yeah, this is actually the first, the positive that I did. First, I did it with clay. sculpted it with clay, and then I did the first mold from plaster, regular plaster. Then I worked the mold to make it nice and perfect. And then I did the casting. That's the first, the original cast out of plaster. And this is just regular plaster. And I coated it with shellac, which helps us do from that piece actually the mold for the glass. So it doesn't stick to the mold. It has to be shellac, then put some kind of a lubricant in it so it doesn't stick to the mold.
How many?
That's what you see.
Do you do one or two reverse molds? How many molds is your process? Positive,
Well,
negative, positive?
First, the positive in clay, then negative mold from the plaster, and then positive plaster, and then negative mold for glass. And then the glass is the actually third positive one. It does take a long, it's a long process. It's not, I wish I was a glass blower sometimes, it's so much faster and easier to do work, but anyway, that's what I do. So yeah,
that's good. That's good. That's really good because people like myself just think there's a positive, negative, and positive, but sometimes it has more to the process.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with it get confusing. Too many molds and too many castings.
Right. So you have this piece with you right now, right, Latchezar?
Yes, I do.
Okay, we'll get to that. So here is the first glimpse of this piece, and it is 13 inches tall, a really substantial size piece by the artist. And as we kick forward into these are the first photos that Latchezar sent me via text message when he was so excited about the first piece coming out of the mold.
Yeah, with the iPhone, I did this photo. Yeah.
Right, to get an idea. He was so excited about showing. And this slide shows you the size, 13 by 8 by 3, and the pricing, which is $4,900 plus shipping. And a little over a foot tall and quite a masterpiece by Latchezar. And sometimes, Latchezar, you do pieces that are involved with anatomy or people, and some are more abstract. This is a more abstract piece. Can you tell us a little about the form?
Yeah. Yeah, the piece is, of course, more abstract, and the whole idea behind the piece was it's like a journey, uplifting, something positive. It could be journey in reality, flying through space, or it could be a spiritual journey, but it's all in a positive side. And that's what I wanted to show: grace, fluidity, beauty, and to have a uplifting spirit. That was my point.
Nice.
So this piece has a flat backside and then a textured front side. And the way the glass changes from deeper blue to lighter blue. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
It is the thicker the piece, actually, the darker the color. But because this piece is not very thick, it is 3.5 inches, I think, at the bottom. It doesn't work with the depth of the glass that much, but the optical effects are great because I have the backside polished and part of the front side polished. And as you move it around, it changes optically, and it reflects more depth of color. So it's interesting. It's very interactive piece, actually, I would say.
Very, very interesting. You can see on the bottom of this piece, when the piece is facing forward you or facing away, and the forward side obviously has the texture and the differences of level, while the back side being flat. Latchezar, if you have the piece with you, would you mind showing us? And feel free to
yeah, there it is. That is the piece. You can see it, right?
Yeah.
So it is, this part is polished here, And as I turn it around, the backside is polished. So as you can see, it does change. It does change with the movement of, once you go around it.
Yeah, we gotta make a video of this thing spinning next for sure. How heavy is it, Latchezar?
It is 6 pounds, I would say.
Okay,
6 pounds, yeah.
Very manageable.
It's not very heavy, so it's easy to handle. That was one of my choices. Why did I decide to make this?
Right, you said you're handling a lot of it yourself, so it has to be within reason, which is great. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to sharing. Thank you for showing us that.
Right.
And we'll definitely put a video together of that so people can see it live in person, because I can see it change as it spins. It's an amazing piece to see.
Yeah.
So back to the old discussion about the pieces, just the idea of there's only 10 available. Latchezar makes them uniquely one at a time. And then when your piece is made, he ships it directly to you for you to enjoy.
Yeah.
And I'm very impressed with Latchezar's ability to cast at this level for the cost, because usually when you start diving into the casting process, it gets very expensive. It just goes to show how well Latchezar is set up as an artist to be able to produce something this magnificent for the cost. So they are available for sale. You can contact me. You can check out the Habatat Limited page and see the actual pieces there and buy them online. This is an example of one of Latchezar's larger pieces. Is this the same kind of glass that is used in the smaller pieces, Latchezar, something like this?
Yes, yes. Actually, one curious thing I will tell you, the glass that I'm using, the material, when we had the last sofa, the Habatat Prime, I had 2 pieces of large castings coming from the Czech Republic, and one unfortunately didn't make it, and it came all broken. And I was kind of devastated, and you took it to the gallery around there, and you had it for a while. Then I got it from you, and actually I'm using the same glass. I decided to recycle that big sculpture and use the glass, because the glass is great, and I had so much of it. It is like, what is it, 600 pounds or 700 pounds almost of that glass.
Wow.
So I say, why not? And I have the crates outside and started chipping away pieces, and loading the molds in the kiln with that piece. So
that's great. So you're recycling, you're using perfectly good material for a new purpose.
Recycling the glass.
Yeah, why not? That's great. I had a question for you. So are the casting with chunks, are you casting with chunks of glass when you break it out, like the Libinskis do, in that kind of same style?
Yeah, it is the same style. It's kiln cast, and the glass is non-leaded glass, so it is lighter than the lead glass. If that piece was a lead glass, would be about, instead of 6, would be 10 pounds, let's say, a lot heavier.
Yeah.
And that was the reason we choose this glass when you make a really large castings, because it will be a lot heavier than the regular glass that we use.
That's wonderful. This piece has a flat back side, so it could be placed in front of a window or on a shelf. It's a very versatile piece. I received a text message, so we just sold one from somebody in the room, and I'll just say it anyway. It's Charles Shepard wanted to acquire one for the Fort Wayne Museum of Art, so thank you, Charles, for getting one for the museum. It's a great start to the launch of this presentation, which is fantastic. Though that's great news, and I'll connect the two of you directly. This is how this works: is Latchezar reaches out to the artists and the clients, and able to establish a relationship and start the process of getting this work made and shipped off. So that's great. If you have any questions, this is the time to ask Latchezar. This is a short and sweet Zoom, because we wanted to launch something we're both extremely excited about. And like I said, they're available for purchase directly on the Habatat site, or you can reach out to me. Many of you know me and can contact me. It's just Aaron@habatat.com. This is a stunning thing, and you're a magician, Latchezar, with the material. I gotta say it, to make something this beautiful and to be able to put it out there in the world like this and be part of our Habatat family.
Yeah,
So
well,
thank you so much. Anybody
thank
else have
you.
any questions? Feel free to ask.
So how long have you been showing in Habitat, Latchezar?
See, the first time was I met you in 1988, and I think 1989. That was when we started showing with some smaller optical pieces. That so it's like, what is it? 32 years?
Uh-huh.
Goodness!
Wow.
That's a heck of a legacy.
It is a long time.
Yeah, that's fun. Any other galleries you showed with that long?
No.
Good answer. Yeah. None you can remember.
Actually, there is actually one gallery that Sandra Ensley Gallery was the one that I met at the same place. That was Kent, Ohio, 1988 gas conference. And that's where I actually met Uford and also Sandra. So there were the two galleries that I started working with.
Got a couple questions for you, Latchezar. What is the timetable for making the pieces? Let's say if someone ordered today, what do you think the time would be before they'd actually see it?
The time, actually, I made the first three pieces, so they are already made.
Okay, that's even easier news.
It could be anytime soon. But it will take, let's say, 4 weeks at the max, because I'm already set up and I have the glass and the mold and everything. So it is
Coming together.
fast.
That's great.
Yeah.
So we'll say you'll have it before 3 months. The idea is when he makes the first few, the next few will come down the pipeline, but there'll be a great communication relationship between all three of us to make sure that you're aware of when to expect it, so there's no surprises. And then we recommend, when you get these things, to open them with family and friends, because it's kind of an event. When you get these beautiful pieces from the limited, they're just something that everybody should experience. And I've noticed that future generations have really cared about parents' art collections, or people's art collections, when they experience the opening. They'd have that experience that they can share forever. And in the future, if you ever decide to deaccession pieces, the next generation always wants these kind of pieces they were there to open, or they know the stories about, which is something we talk about with Habitat Generations. So make an event of it. Invite your friends over, have some wine, some cheese, and be like, this is the exposure party, the opening party of Latchezar's limited, or any of the limited pieces. It's a very fun thing that should be celebrated.
Good idea.
So, thanks, man.
Yeah, very good idea.
Well, let's see. Well, Latchezar, will you show the piece again? I have some people who joined late, so they can see it in your hands, and I can definitely I'll definitely put up a picture of it before we go. So stick around before we leave today. And I have somebody else who's already emailing me saying they want one. So this is already a great start, and I'm happy for Latchezar, and happy for everybody. They have a chance to see it here first and get on board. All right, I will show it. Yeah, sure, Charles.
Well, you and I were talking a couple of weeks ago, and I think this is such a tremendous way to introduce smaller pieces. It reminded me of printmakers who will do an edition, let's say, of a dozen or of 20. But to buy a flat print, you're probably going to pay $3,000 already. I'm stunned that for $3,900, you could buy a beautiful piece of dimensional glass, and it follows the same pattern in art history of being a multiple. And what is there to love about that?
Yeah, I completely agree. And it's great to learn from other mediums like that, because we don't need to create the path and create the wheel. The wheel's already there, and we can follow the same kind of patterns that people are used to. Then there's no real surprises. It's just like doing an auction. There's a pattern in place, and people are used to the rules of the pattern. And same thing with artwork. So a lot of the European artists make editions of 5. Lubinsky's and Ann Wolf and Latchezar and Clifford Rainey have made pieces that are commonly decided in the European style. They're made in editions. And it's a normalcy that some people aren't used to. But being the fact that everything is made perfect to the artist's discretion, sometimes with deviations of bubbles and form, it's a great opportunity to get something that you really love that is not lost because one person has it in one place. Question from the audience, Latchezar. Once the piece comes out of the mold, how long does the cold working and polishing take?
Depends on usually it takes, for this piece particularly, it's probably 2 days, I would say, full days of work. Because it's all done by hand, everything, grinding it. And the good thing about this piece is done by myself. I don't have any assistance, so it's all touches mine on the piece from the beginning, from the thought to the finished piece.
I gotcha. I'm going to show it one more time because some people have joined late. Can see the actual limited there. This is obviously a picture that Latchezar took with his cell phone in his window, just giving you an idea of the color and the tone of it. It is a beauty. But I thank you all, and if you have any more questions, this would be the time. I'm glad you can join me and Latchezar today to show this new journey, right? The new journey that Latchezar and I are on, exposing this piece about journey. Yeah. This video will be posted on YouTube too, so you're welcome to see it there afterwards to catch up on Latchezar's entire talk. And thank you all for joining today. Someone asked if it's only available in the blue color, and it is. According to my knowledge, it is only available in the blue color. Yeah. So that's the style and the tone, the material available for this piece, which is why the costs are where they're at. But it is a very popular color, and I could easily live with one of these pieces in my kitchen or any place in my house to match my other piece I have from you, Latchezar, that's in red, that I'll someday take home. It's still at the gallery. Well, I guess that wraps it up, everybody. Like I said, they're available through me or on the website habatat.com, and click the limited button. And if you guys have any questions or want to talk to Latchezar about this directly, just give us a call and make that happen. Have a great weekend, and thank you again, Latchezar, for joining me.
Okay, well, thank you guys, and
wonderful.
See you all. Thanks for joining.
Take care. See you.
You're most welcome. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
So long.
Bye.